You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. The following podcast contains spoilers and rude words. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing, where we're going to get some of Dave's sultry, sick voice. I love sick voice.
Hello. Oh, fucking ruined it by coughing.
That's right. But we're not here to talk about illness this week. We're here to talk about If, a 2024 American live-action animated fantasy comedy film written, produced, and directed by John Krasinski, your boy. It features an ensemble cast that, of course, stars Kaylee Fleming, Ryan Reynolds, Krasinski himself, Fiona Shaw, Alan Kim, Lisa Collins-Zayas, along with many, many voices, including Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., and Steve Carell. And let's get into it. What is it about, Dave?
It's basically rebadging that animated series of Foster's and Home from Imaginary Friends.
I forgot about that show. Yeah,
it's basically the same story. Yeah. Young girls whose father, played by Krasinski, is going in for some fairly serious hospital work, and she's obviously concerned about that. Goes for a bit of a wander, finds a silly-looking imaginary friend, follows it, finds Ryan Reynolds, and then gets a job rehoming imaginary friends who have been grown out of by their children. That's it. Kind of it.
Let's get straight into it. I tried to advise you last week that this movie was not worth the time discussing on the pod. You were very keen on it. I know that you were really, really, really looking forward to this. So I'm very curious to hear how it landed for you. I didn't love this film,
like a lead balloon.
Well, I'm a bit the same as you. I really wanted to like it. I love Krasinski ever since The Office, of course.
On paper, this should have worked.
Oh, 100%. Because I do think conceptually, it's actually quite strong, and it's a good director. It's a good cast. And that's why I will never understand what happened here. I don't know whether there was... You know what? My guess is that this is one of those cases where studio meddling may have actually made the film better. I have a feeling that this was kind of Krasinski.
Well, someone needed to read this script and go, you know what? It's not funny.
Well, okay.
Nothing really happens.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for kind of zany, crazy scene one after another, thinly strung together with a plot that doesn't really make sense.
It is. But my biggest problem with it is that none of it is actually that fun. Like,
no,
I sat there watching this movie going, who is this movie for? Because it's not actually a kid's movie. It's kind of too high concept and depressing and stuff for young kids to enjoy it. And there's not enough of the zany fun characters. You get maybe 2 scenes of like some look, this is a glass with a cube of ice in it talking. And then that's it. It never actually does anything with those characters. But it's also not adult enough to be a proper adult. It's just kind of for nobody. I don't understand who the target audience for this film is.
Oh, it's like, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that this was just kind of thought up as an idea rather than Krasinski sitting there with kids watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and going, yeah, I'm going to make one of those and call it mine. I've got enough faith in him that I don't think that's the case. I think it was just an idea. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But the premise aside, which is quite good, the script is almost non-existent. Nothing really happens. There's not enough made of her real life situation with her dad. That's just kind of
agreed. Yeah,
an excuse for her to need friends. So not enough is made of that. The design on all of the imaginary friends, I think, is shit.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are interesting enough, and the ones that could be interesting are so stupid that no child would ever have. What child has a glass of water with ice in it as his imaginary or her imaginary friend?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's my thought. Yeah.
And there's not enough jokes in it to kind of keep it moving. Like all of the stuff I've just said, you could kind of get past if this thing was peppered with gags.
Yeah.
But this is one of the rare occasions where Reynolds is playing the straight man. And I normally like that. Like I think Adam Project, for example, it works when he's being the zany Van Wilder, but it can work really well where he's the straight guy, who's a bit cynical and the crazy shit's happening around him, and he's just kind of
see again. My problem is that he's kind of neither. The problem for me is that like, you may as well not cast Ryan Reynolds. He's talking like Ryan Reynolds. He's doing his typical Ryan Reynolds shtick, but it just does not land. And you know what else I find shocking? I do not like John Krasinski in this film. How the fuck does John Krasinski fuck up writing and directing a John Krasinski character? I just found him completely unlikable.
What is he doing other than maybe dying?
He's not doing anything.
I mean, he's just there as the dad. He's not in most of it. The thing because essentially, as we've said, this whole thing is an excuse to go from crazy scene to crazy scene.
Yeah.
And, have a bunch of CG nonsense going on. But it's bad at all of that. And the thing that I kept thinking back to, I don't know if you watched it, that Momoa one, Slumberland, I think it was called.
No.
Where it's so many similarities. A young kid who's sort of has no emotional bond to, sad, distant parent, and retreats into / goes on a journey through this dreamland, and she encounters Jason Momoa, who's this kind of anarchic dream pan figure, and it is crazy scene to crazy scene because you're in a dreamland. But the story has emotional weight. There is a genuine arc for both her and Momoa and the distant parent. The whole thing works because you take away all of the CG whiz-bangery, and there's still a heart to it. There's still a story. This has none of that.
Oh, but it tries so hard to. It tries to be so manipulative. The CG whiz-bangery
is not very good.
Yeah, but it tries so hard to be a film of heart. It thinks that look, her mum died and her dad might be dying. Like, it thinks that that's enough to be emotional. And it's not, because I don't actually connect with the characters. You can't just try and make me cry and try and make the film emotional that way. It doesn't work. There is only one kind of zany scene in the whole film which I do think actually lands, and that's the scene where she's first at the foster home at Coney Island and figures out that she can kind of change this place with her imagination. And there's a bit of a fun kind of montage there. It's not great, but that's the only time I thought the zaniness of the film actually worked.
There was one, I can't even remember where it appears in the film, but there's one kind of dance number where...
That's that one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Which I thought, and it should give props. I think she's very good.
I was just going to say, there are two things I really like about the film, and she's one of them.
And, I mean, I was more impressed watching it because I thought she was a child actor, when it turns out she's like 17 or 18 or something. She's just playing a 12-year-old, but she's still very good. What I didn't realize, did you realize that's she played both young Rey in Star Wars and also Judith Grimes in Walking Dead?
I didn't, but I've just looked at her picture because I was trying to look at her age. Yeah, she is 17, and yes, she looks a lot like Daisy Ridley, actually. So that makes sense.
So she's been playing the young version, and she's also the young Sylvie in Loki, which I don't think you watched the TV show Loki, no. But she's the young version of the female Loki.
Right. So she
was good.
Yeah, she's one thing that I really like. The other thing that I really liked is the score by Michael Giacchino. I think that the score works. It sounds magical. It's got that family-friendly feel to it. I think that was a really nice touch. That's the only thing apart from her that I really liked about this movie.
Don't remember noticing the score at all. Tell you what score I did notice was even better than I remember. The Thing. That's a good film.
That's a great
Watched that earlier
movie.
today.
That's a great movie.
back to this one though. What else have I don't have too many notes on this one, seriously, other than should have been better.
We've only been going for 10 minutes.
Brad Pitt cementing his career as just doing invisible cameos. Deadpool 2, invisible. At least you see his face for 1 second in that.
Is Deadpool, is Brad Pitt in this?
Yeah, he's the invisible imaginary friend that Ryan Reynolds keeps tripping over.
Keith or whatever. But
yeah, he's invisible and he has no lines.
Yeah, so
but
he's
he is played by Brad Pitt in the cast.
I'll tell you what. That actually retrospectively makes me like this movie more because at least that's fun. That alone is more fun than anything that happens in this movie.
And it's not something in this movie.
No.
It's just a fun Easter egg about the production.
Yeah.
But all it does is make me even more irritated by this. This is the worst, most egregious piece of bullshit stunt casting of a film I have ever come across. The number of expensive A-list actors who are in this, and I'm not including Steve Carell or Phoebe Waller-Bridge because they have significant lines and they're both very, very good. Everyone else is a one-line character pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't need to be paying
Awkwafina,
Keegan-Michael Key, or Awkwafina, Jon Stewart. The list is absolutely...
George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Hader. Like, it's insane. And you're right.
What
most
a
of them,
ridiculous waste of money.
Most of them have one line.
Yeah. And maybe some of them did it as a favor, but I bet that surely they would have all been paid. Their names on the poster. They're helping sell it.
Well, but
they don't need to be there.
Here's the thing that's always pissed me off about voice casting. Are they helping to sell it? Because I'm telling you, the target audience, the supposed target audience for this film are kids. You know, like I took my 10-year-old and 5-year-old to see it. They don't fucking know who Bradley Cooper is. The only person in this cast list they know who it is Awkwafina, and that's only because she has now done so many voice work.
They're not buying the fucking tickets.
No. But
parents
I don't care who these people are.
I would go out of curiosity if I saw that cast list.
Yeah.
Because you just go, holy shit, that is literally like a who's who of it's everyone in Hollywood.
But you know what?
Tom Cruise.
Here's what I'll tell you. Did you recognize any of their voices? Because I sure as hell didn't. Looking at this cast list now,
that is my point, and it annoys me about every fucking this is pretty much purely Disney and fucking Dreamscape or whoever the rival animation, the ones that do all the big ones that always have the celebrity cast. 99% of these celebrity people are not as good at voice acting as an actual voice actor.
This is always
they are taking work from voice actors who would do a better job purely for marketing reasons. There is no other reason that to have the fucking Rock in Moana. 100%. And he's good in Moana, but no better than anyone else would have been. It's pure marketing, and that is a job that could have gone to someone who's trying to put food on the fucking family's table.
100%.
It annoys the shit out of me.
I agree. Look, I like Awkwafina. I genuinely do. But having a unique voice does not make you a voice actor. And that is what has always bothered me. She's now doing a voice in every fucking kids movie that's coming out.
And she's not even a good actor when she's on screen. most of the time. So she's bringing nothing.
Well, but here's Steve Carell. I love Steve Carell. I think he is one of the best actors of the last 25 years. He does fucking nothing for this character. I did not even know it was Steve Carell until after the movie, and he is
doing as much acting in this as he does in Anchorman. He's just making weird sounds.
I mean, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
A lot of people can do that.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge was fine because at least I buy the connection between her and her imaginary friend. You brought up earlier about, who the fuck would have a fucking glass of water with an ice cube in it. And that's where I wish that this movie had spent more time. The movie becomes this kind of let's find these kids and reconnect them with their friends. But there are very, very, very few cases where they have actually put the thought into who is this kid and why did they have this imaginary friend? Yeah. There's kind of two cases where they did that, which is Steve Carell and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And in those cases, it worked.
That could have been the whole film.
It should have been the whole film.
That would have been fascinating.
Because here's the thing. This is a really short film, and I was still just waiting for it to end because it just felt... I just wanted more from it, and I agree. That should have been the story to me. That might have been interesting, kind of seeing who these people are and why were these their friends. But
it's not... a tricky writing job. You know, maybe there's a kid who's a ballerina, but they have broken their leg and they can't dance anymore. So their imaginary friend is someone who can fly because that's the freedom that they don't have. You know, there's so many little links. It's not hard to come up with reasons for these things to match up.
Yeah, yeah. But this kid really, was always thirsty, so glass of water with an ice cube in it.
And melty marshmallow fucking imaginary friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, fucking hell. To tell you what astonishes me, did you see that the cinema score of this is an A?
See, I find that crazy because I was just going to say everything I've heard about this film has
all the reviews. It's middling or below in all the reviews.
48% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average of 5.8, 46 out of 100 on Metacritic.
On par.
I have no idea how the audience score is so high. The only thing I can imagine is because it is a kids' film, and people tend to give them a little bit of a pass because they're like, well, it's not for me. But here's the thing. I saw this with my kids. Now, when my kids like a movie, immediately when it finishes, they want to go see it again. Like, they're right in that age group where, they will rewatch fucking Frozen or Moana 20 times a day. This finished and they were like, oh, yeah, that was good. But, I was all right.
Thing I did.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the movie? Oh, I liked that. It was funny, actually. My 5-year-old, her favorite bit was the glass of water with the ice cube in it. I guess it's just silly enough and they both liked the marshmallow, but like you're literally talking a shot. Those characters are not even characters. Like,
no, they were. I mean, certainly the marshmallow was purely there to be in the trailer. That's the only thing I remember from the trailer is don't look at his eye. Which one? You know which one?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Roger Ebert, who I don't normally agree with, nailed it with well-intentioned misfire. Fucking exactly what it is.
I mean, this movie is not making its money back. Budget of 110 million, and so far at the box office is at 103, and it's well and truly at the end of its run. I believe it's out on streaming now.
Yeah, word has got out.
But here's the problem: is that I really do fear that we are at the death of cinema, because Furiosa, for example, just opened, and it's the lowest Memorial Day weekend opening since 1981. It's really, really bombing. And everyone who's seen it is posting, go see it. It's so good. People just aren't seeing. I think the movies are dead, man. It makes me sad.
It'll explode on streaming, and that's it's really depressing that so many people are. Oh, I'll just wait for streaming. I've got a big TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so it's, like I look at the box office for this movie, and like, sure, it's really bad, but that is not necessarily a reflection of the film itself, because people just aren't going to the movies.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully in this case, it's well deserved because this movie is fucking bog average, but it does really concern me that things like, because I expected Furiosa to be the biggest hit of the year.
Same. I thought it would be up against Dune 2. Yeah.
And at the moment, I haven't compared the numbers, but I'm pretty confident in saying Dune 2 was doing way better at this point in time.
Oh, way, way, way better. Furiosa has not anywhere near met expectations. It was about 20 under opening weekend expectations. So, I mean, look, you can hope it has legs.
Dune was coming, 12 months after part one.
Well,
whereas Furiosa is coming a few years after Fury Road, maybe
longer. So 9 years since Fury Road now.
Holy shit, that's gone.
Fury Road was 2015. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. It's people have forgotten how much Fury Road blew their socks off.
Yeah.
Whereas Dune 2, there's everyone who watched Dune Part 1 and when it came out, and then everyone who watched it on streaming and went, oh, wow. Hey, wow, the sequel's out in like 3 months.
Yeah. So how are you scoring If? Mate, you're the one who made us do this. I tried to warn you. I said it's not very good.
Look, I'm just a flat 5 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. I'm a bit harsher. I'm a 4.
I was about to say 4, and then I thought, oh, look, I feel bad for Kaylee Fleming, who I thought was really good, and
yeah.
Oh no, fuck, 4.5. It's not a pass.
No, I don't think it is either. I just think it's a real misfire. I have no idea who it's for. It's not fun. It's not funny. And it makes me like John Krasinski a little bit less. But there you go. All right. Before we get to next week, mate, why don't you tell the good people what we're doing this weekend?
We, along with, let's face it, all the best podcasters from all over the world, will be taking part in live stream for The Cure once more, which is a fabulous, what is it? What would you call it? Marathon
fundraising
fundraising podcasting marathon.
Yes.
Several days of non-stop, 12 hours a day podcasting from people from all around the world, all to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute, who are doing wonderful work with immunotherapy and trying to get rid of horrible cancer once and for all. We will be on 2 segments all up. Billy and I will be appearing at, I want to say 11 a.m. on Saturday for people on the east coast of Australia. Is that right? 11 or?
I thought it was 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Oh, it's 11 p.m. So 1 p.m. on Saturday. I'll put more social posts up to confirm it, in addition to the ones that are already up there. For people, east coast of Australia, and we will be doing a music episode, our top 5 songs starting with C.
The big C for cancer.
The big C, indeed. And to make it all interesting, and
you say interesting, I say horrifying.
to incentivize both Billy and I and Nick and whoever else is going to take part to give it our very best. There will be a penalty for whoever comes last in the shape of a potentially large drink of pickle juice.
So remind me, is the idea that after each of our picks, the viewers will vote who has the worst one?
So the encourage you need to be tuning in live on Twitch to watch the video of all of this and be in the chat to take part. But after each round of our top 5, we'll do our number 5 songs. We'll each put up what we have. Everyone online will vote as to who their favorite, second favorite, etc. is, and points will be awarded accordingly to everyone, Billy and I and whoever else is taking part. And those points will equate to volumes that will be added to our. I'm figuring we'll start with around 250 mils. It's kind of just everyone starts the same, and that will be added to as we go. That's nothing.
But only the loser has to drink, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So as we go through, depending on how the voting goes, our virtual glasses of pickle juice will increase at varying amounts. And when we get to the end, whoever comes last. Drinks whatever their amount of pickle juice is.
Okay.
And there will be additional incentives to encourage donations, because at the end of the day, the whole thing is to raise money. We want people to donate if they can afford to do so. And there'll be milestones, if we hit, $200 within the course of our segment, everyone gets an extra 100 mils added or something like that, $500, $1,000, etc. So if you want to punish us, and make one of us drink lots and lots of pickle juice.
And you need some great songs that start with C. It's an awesome event. Nick has been running it. This is the 8th year of it, and he's raised over $100,000 for the Cancer Institute. There's so many great people. All of our mates are going to be there. You mentioned the countdown, Paul. Our dungeon master, Drew from Real Feels, he'll be there. Liz is doing a couple of segments.
You need to tune in for Liz and Caleb ruin sex. Again, because this is a sequel to their segment from last year where they previously ruined sex.
So definitely go and check it out. As for us next week, mate, I'm going to throw some options at you. Do we, A, stay in the kids' realm and do Garfield?
No.
Do we, B, and this is fun, on this week they are re-releasing The Raid in 4K. Do we take the chance to do The Raid as a throwback episode?
1,000 times over before I do Garfield.
Or do we throw another top 5 out there?
Oh, we can do both. I mean, look, The Raid will be a fairly quick chat, probably. It's awesome. Everyone knows it's awesome. It's nice to revisit. I'm very keen to revisit, especially in 4K.
Yeah. Why don't we link it? Then, what if we do The Raid and our top 5 fight scenes in movies?
I would like to do that just to not have John Wick in any of them.
Let's do it. All right. Next week, we will be doing The Raid plus our top 5 fight scenes in film. And yeah, I think that's fun. I think that's going to be a good idea. Can I tell you a secret, mate? Never seen The Raid.
Of course you haven't. You don't watch movies.
Yeah, I watch lots of movies. I rewatched The Rock just last night. And that was only a couple of nights after rewatching The Net, which is probably the greatest thriller film of the 90s.
So many things just came out of your mouth just then that I'm having trouble processing. The Rock, spoilers, not a very good film.
Oh, fuck off. So there you go. That
in my mind, a bit, because The Rock is ridiculous. The glowing green eggs of VX. It's fucking stupid all over the place. And I remember being annoyed by that, but liking Con Air. Rewatched Con Air. Not as good as I remember it.
They're both excellent films. That's ridiculous. Well, that's us next week. We're doing The Raid plus our top 5 fight scenes in movies. As
apparently, Billy's favourite fight scenes will all come from Michael Bay and Roland Emmerich films.
I can't promise there won't be any. As mentioned, go check out Livestream for the Cure this weekend to help raise some money for cancer. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com, pottymouthradio@gmail.com. If you head to that website, all of our links are there. Check out all the other shows on the network. Time to Die, Hunt for the Perfect Album, The One Where We Watched, and Movie Reviews in 20 Qs. And we'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Can you dream of a world immune to cancer? Hello everyone, my name is Nick and I'm the host of the annual Livestream for the Cure, where content creators and podcasters from around the world join me to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute and immunotherapy research, which is training the body's immune system to fight against all forms of cancer. Over the past 7 years, thanks to the power of indie podcasters and the indie podcasting community and listeners just like you listening to this right now, we have raised over $90,000. And as I record this now, the 8th annual Livestream for the Cure is barreling down upon us really quickly in just about 2 weeks. So join us please from May 29th through June 1st for 48 hours of amazing content from people all over the world and help us fight for a world immune to cancer. I'll now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you so much. And together, we can make a difference.